What's going on, everybody? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to talk about some more roster moves as training camp has finally arrived. Day one, I'm very excited. And some moves that we have to talk about. Well, last night we talked about Andrew Adams, familiar face, joining the team. That now brings three members of the Jerry Reese regime back to the New York Football Giants. But before I dive into some of Big Blue's transactions, folks, if you like what you watch, make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate all the love and support that we've gotten over the past year. It's been absolutely outstanding. Now, one move I really want to pinpoint is the signing of defensive end Nick Williams. He was among several roster moves today. They added a wide receiver in Marcus Kemp as well, in addition to Nick Williams. Those are the two most notable names. They also went out and got offensive lineman Kamal Seymour, and I believe they signed another player as well. Now, Nick Williams, 32 years old, who started 30 games over the past two seasons. He started all 17 with Detroit last year and 13 games in 2020. This is a guy who's been around the block for a while now. He was a seventh-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2013. He joined the Dolphins in 2016. Listen carefully. This is where the connection comes in. 2016, he joined the Dolphins, where Joe Shane was in his final year as Miami's director of player personnel. This is before he took the assistant GM job with the Buffalo Bills. Through 75 NFL games, Nick Williams has 35 starts, 110 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, and 17 quarterback hits. I like this addition because it provides some depth along the defensive line, and I truthfully think that the Giants could use it. Right, you're looking at this defensive line right now. You have Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence as shoo-ins, and of course Justin Ellis at that nose tackle position. But after that, it's kind of take your guess, right? You have DJ Davidson, and then after that, I really can't name too many other guys that could make this roster. So, in my personal opinion, maybe Jahad Ward, but Nick Williams is a guy who can definitely compete for one of the 53-man roster spots. I don't believe this is just a camp body for the Giants. Now, there is some concern about him. He was out of the NFL in 2017. He rejoined with the Chicago Bears in 2018 and 19 before his 2 years with Detroit. And 2019 was his breakout year where he had 6 sacks with the Chicago Bears. And of course, this past season, he played 55% of Detroit's defensive snaps. So he's a guy who would be a rotational piece if he were to make the team. The other addition I want to key in on is Marcus Kemp. 6'4", 210 pounds, a big body, who was likely recommended by Mike Kafka, as Kemp did spend some time in Kansas City. So I think this could be a camp body to compete as well. I don't think he'll make the roster. I think the big signing here is Nick Williams. So in addition to Andrew Adams, it's Marcus Kemp, Kamal Seymour, and Nick Williams. So I didn't forget anybody. Those are the 4 guys. Now, 4 guys the Giants let go. They let go Henry Black, who they signed in the offseason, Jabari Ellis, the undrafted free agent defensive tackle out of South Carolina, and wide receiver Travis Toivonen, who was signed to a reserve futures deal, and they terminated the contract of defensive back Maurice Kennedy, who was one of the guys Wink Martindale brought in, who previously played under his scheme in Baltimore. So 4 for 4 right there as we start training camp. And now with the news coming out today that the Giants are pretty healthy as a football team right now. Rodarius Williams is good to go. Blake Martinez is good to go. This is excellent news. However, there were 3 players sent to the PUP list. That is wide receiver Sterling Shepard, who we all expected, offensive lineman Nick Gates, and then Matt Pert. Nick Gates, of course, recovering from the gruesome leg injury next year, who will likely miss majority of this season, if not all of it. And Matt Pert, who is dealing with the knee issue, could potentially put his roster spot in jeopardy. And then the other injury, non-football related, Azeez Ojulari hurt his hamstring. So hopefully he's good to go within a few days. So, but hamstrings are tricky. Those injuries could linger. So you may want to save Ojulari until towards the end of training camp or preseason. You don't want to risk that. Last year, Ojulari was relatively healthy. Now, I'm looking at the state of this Giants roster right now, and I'm excited for 2022. I think we're going to see a lot of improvement. I think there's going to be a lot of competition in training camp, in particular on offense at the tight end position, at the left guard position, on defense, at the safety position, at the linebacker position, interior defensive line, edge rusher. We're going to see a lot of competition, and there's no give me starters, in those particular spots. So I'm very excited to see what's in store for this New York Football Giants team. And Joe Schoen has continued to move the Giants towards a healthy salary cap situation and still being able to improve this Giants roster heading into 2022, which I am excited about. So the highlight of this video, Nick Williams is a New York Giant who has been added to the team to look out for in training camp. Folks, if you like what you watch, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below at Big Blue Avenue. You could also follow us on Instagram and Twitter for live updates at Big Blue Avenue. Appreciate everybody watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, ring the bell for notifications, and without further ado, let's go Big Blue.